Get ready, because this deep dive, well, it's taken us into some pretty bizarre territory.
Yeah.
The world of quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
But with a twist, we're talking about something that you see every day.
Right.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah.
You know, that process that's happening in every single leaf around you.
Mm-hmm.
Get this. It might have a secret connection to the fifth state of matter.
Wow.
Exciton condensates.
Yeah.
Our source for this deep dive is a fascinating article from the Quantum Insider titled Ice Cubes in Hot Coffee. Scientists find link between photosynthesis and fifth state of matter.
It's a wild concept, huh? I mean, the idea of ice cubes that just won't melt in scorching coffee, that sounds like pure science fiction.
Yeah, it really does.
But that's the kind of, mind-bending phenomenon that we're dealing with here.
Okay, so I'm intrigued, but I need a little help here. Like, what exactly are exciton condensates?
So imagine a group of particles, they're all in sync, moving together as one.
Okay.
And like this perfectly choreographed dance where the energy just flows effortlessly without any resistance.
Okay.
This unified state, that's the exciton condensate.
Yeah.
It allows for just incredible efficiency.
Right.
Think of it like a superhighway for energy.
Right.
We see this principle in things like superconductors, even MRI machines.
Yeah.
But typically those require extremely low temperatures.
Okay, so what's the connection to, like, a leaf basking in the warm sunshine?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
So scientists over at the University of Chicago, they were modeling photosynthesis at the atomic level,
Uh-huh.
and they stumbled upon something really unexpected.
Yeah.
Their models showed these hints of exciton condensate behavior happening right there in the leaf
Okay.
at room temperature.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying that they found evidence of this fifth state of matter, which is usually associated with extreme cold, just kind of hanging out in a leaf?
Exactly. It was a huge discovery.
Right.
They were looking at how these little packets of energy called excitons, basically electron-hole pairs, created when light hits the leaf, how those behave during photosynthesis.
Yeah.
And they found that these excitons, they were linking up,
Okay.
behaving in ways that looked similar to exciton condensates.
So are you saying that there's like a full-blown exciton condensate inside of a leaf?
Not quite. It's a little bit more nuanced than that.
Okay.
They observed what we could call islands of condensate-like behavior forming within the leaf.
Ah. Hmm.
It's as if you dropped those ice cubes into that hot coffee, right?
Right.
And instead of melting completely, they formed these little pockets of frozen order
Okay.
amidst the chaos.
Yeah.
And they're not like permanent structures. They're more like fleeting moments of synchronized movement that, kind of pop up and disappear dynamically within the leaf.
Okay, so this is where I need a little bit more help. Like, how can these fleeting islands of condensate-like behavior, how can they have such a big impact? Why does it even matter if these excitons are dancing in sync for just a short while?
Well, think of it this way. In a normal material, energy tends to get scattered and lost, Yeah.
As it moves around, it bumps into obstacles.
Right.
But in these condensate-like regions, energy flows smoothly, effortlessly, like a skater gliding on a perfectly smooth ice rink.
Mm-hmm.
And even those really brief moments of synchronized movement, they seem to boost the efficiency of energy transfer within the leaf.
Okay, so these little pockets of condensate-like behavior are kind of smoothing out that energy flow, making that process more efficient. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But how much more efficient are we talking?
Well, the model suggests these islands could be boosting energy transfer efficiency by, like, double.
Wow.
Which is a massive leap.
Yeah.
Especially considering this is happening in a messy, complex environment like a leaf.
Right.
Not some pristine laboratory setting.
Doubling the efficiency, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
But, I got to ask, if plants have been doing this quantum magic all along, why are we only discovering it now?
That's a great question. So for a long time, scientists had to oversimplify their models of photosynthesis.
Just to make the calculations manageable.
Okay.
But now, thanks to advances in computing power and modeling techniques, we can actually embrace the complexity of these natural systems.
Yeah.
And we can see these subtle quantum effects that were hidden before.
It's like we finally have the right magnifying glass to appreciate the details.
Exactly.
And this makes me wonder if we're just now uncovering this quantum dance happening in leaves. What other hidden wonders might be out there? Like, what else are we missing?
That's the beauty of science, right? It's this constant journey of discovery.
Yeah.
And this finding, it's really blown open the doors to a new way of thinking about the relationship between quantum mechanics and the biological world.
It's almost like we've stumbled upon this secret code hidden within nature, and we're just beginning to decipher it.
Yeah.
So we've established that plants, they might be harnessing quantum phenomena to become these energy transfer superstars.
Right.
But what does this all mean for us? How could this knowledge impact our lives?
That's where the implications get really exciting.
Okay. This has the potential to, like, revolutionize so many fields, from electronics design to clean energy solutions.
Okay, let's unpack that a bit. What kind of technological leaps could this lead to?
Well, imagine electronics that operate with the same incredible energy efficiency as a leaf.
Okay.
We're talking about smartphones that could last for weeks on a single charge.
Right.
Laptops that barely sip any power.
Wow.
And even entire power grids that operate with dramatically reduced energy waste.
That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Are we really talking about like a future powered by quantum leaves?
It's definitely a long-term goal,
Yeah.
but the potential is there.
Okay.
And the implications, they go way beyond just gadgets. Think about the possibilities for clean energy.
Right.
What if we could design solar panels that mimic the quantum efficiency of photosynthesis?
Yeah.
You know, capturing and converting sunlight with just incredible effectiveness.
Yeah.
We could be looking at a future where clean, renewable energy is just abundant and accessible to everybody. That's a pretty inspiring vision.
Yeah.
Harnessing the power of the quantum leaf to create a more sustainable future. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive a little deeper into how this could actually work.
Sure.
You know, how could we translate this knowledge into real-world applications? What are some of the hurdles that we need to overcome?
Well, first, we need to move beyond just observing these condensate-like states.
Right.
We need to understand how to control them, how to make them more stable and predictable.
Right.
If we want to actually harness their power for technology.
Yeah.
That requires a much deeper dive into the complexities of the quantum world and how it interacts with biological systems.
So it's not just about copying what plants are doing,
Yeah.
but truly understanding the underlying principles at play.
Exactly.
It's about, like, cracking the code of the quantum leaf so that we can write our own versions.
Precisely. And that requires a multidisciplinary approach, you know? Bringing together physicists, chemists, biologists, and engineers to tackle these challenges from every angle.
Yeah.
It's a complex puzzle, but the payoff could be enormous.
It is fascinating, all this, but I have to admit, I'm still grappling with some of the finer points.
Yeah.
For instance, you mentioned that these condensate-like states, they're fleeting and dynamic.
Right.
How can something so transient have such a big impact on that overall energy flow?
That's an excellent question, and it really gets to the heart of how these systems operate.
Yeah.
It's not just about how long these condensate-like states last,
Okay.
but also about how often they occur and their strategic placement within the leaf's structure.
Right.
Think of it like a relay race, you know, where these islands of condensate-like behavior act as these efficient handoff points to ensure smooth and rapid energy transfer throughout the whole system.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture.
Yeah.
So it's not just about one big stable condensate,
Right.
but a network of these transient synchronized states working together
Exacts.
to optimize the flow of energy.
Yeah, it's about understanding that interplay between these quantum phenomena and the larger structure of the leaf.
This makes me wonder if there are limits to how much we can scale up these principles. Like, can we really go from these tiny islands in a leaf to something like a solar panel or a battery?
That's one of the big questions that researchers are working on right now.
Yeah.
You know, can we create artificial systems that mimic this delicate dance of quantum states
Right.
and achieve these same levels of efficiency, but on a larger scale?
Yeah.
It's a tough challenge, but not necessarily an impossible one.
So it's a matter of pushing the boundaries of our understanding and our technological capability.
Exactly. And it requires thinking outside the box, moving beyond our traditional approaches to electronics and energy.
Yeah.
This discovery has opened up all these new possibilities, and we're really just starting to explore what might be achievable.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even in the most familiar things, like a leaf, there are these profound mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And who knows, those discoveries might just hold the key to a more sustainable and energy-abundant future.
Yeah.
But before we get too lost in the possibilities, let's take a closer look at the challenges and the potential pitfalls
Okay.
that we might encounter.
Sure.
All right, so when we return, we'll explore some of the key unanswered questions and the research that needs to be done
Okay.
to bridge the gap between this fascinating discovery and those real-world applications.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the quantum leaf. We've been talking about how plants might be tapping into the weird world of quantum mechanics to become these energy transfer masters. And the implications are pretty mind-blowing.
It's a game changer, no doubt.
Yeah.
But like any groundbreaking discovery, there's a lot we still don't know.
Right.
One question that keeps coming up for me is how stable are these islands of condensate-like behavior? I mean, you said they're fleeting and dynamic. Doesn't that make them like incredibly difficult to study,
Right.
let alone harness?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
How can scientists even begin to unravel these quantum mysteries when they're dealing with something so elusive?
It's definitely a challenge, but scientists are developing, increasingly sophisticated tools and techniques to study these phenomena.
Okay.
They're using things like ultrafast lasers and spectroscopy
Right.
to capture those really fleeting moments of condensate-like behavior.
So essentially taking snapshots of this quantum dance as it unfolds.
Exactly. And the more we can observe these quantum dynamics, the more we understand the factors that influence their formation and behavior, we're starting to get a handle on the choreography.
Okay, so we're getting better at observing these islands.
Okay.
But to utilize this knowledge, wouldn't we need to create more stable, controllable versions of these states? Is that even possible?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's where things get really tricky. Moving from observation to manipulation is a huge leap. It's one thing to, watch the dance. It's another thing to learn the steps and choreograph your own routine.
Right.
We need to figure out how to recreate the conditions that give rise to these quantum phenomena, and then how to control those conditions to make these states more stable and predictable.
So it's like we're trying to build a quantum leaf in the lab.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a pretty daunting engineering challenge.
Yeah.
What kind of research is being done to tackle this?
Well, there are several really exciting avenues of research. Some scientists are exploring new materials engineered at the nanoscale that could potentially host and stabilize these condensate-like states. Others are looking at ways to manipulate light and electromagnetic fields to influence the behavior of those excitons and encourage the formation of these quantum states.
So it's like a multi-pronged approach, attacking the problem from different angles.
Exactly. And it requires this close collaboration between theoretical and experimental physicists, chemists, and materials scientists, all working together to push the boundaries.
This makes me think about, the potential for unintended consequences. We're talking about manipulating quantum phenomena, something we're only just beginning to understand. Are there risks involved in, tinkering with these fundamental processes?
It's a valid concern, and any responsible scientific advancement needs to carefully consider those potential risks.
Of course.
But it's important to remember that nature has been doing this quantum dance for billions of years.
Right.
Photosynthesis is proof that these processes can be incredibly robust and reliable. Our goal is to learn from nature, to understand the underlying principles and safeguards that govern these phenomena, so we can harness them safely and responsibly.
So it's about approaching this with a sense of humility, recognizing that we're still students in nature's classroom.
Precisely. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
We're trying to understand how the wheel works so we can build better vehicles.
Okay, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about timelines.
Okay.
If we're talking about quantum leaf-powered smartphones or ultra-efficient solar panels, how far out are we talking? Are we talking years, decades, or are we in pure science fiction territory here?
It's always tough to put specific timelines on these breakthroughs, especially when you're dealing with something as complex as this.
Right.
But based on the current research, I think it's reasonable to expect significant advancements in our understanding and manipulation of these quantum phenomena within the next decade or two. As for the practical applications, like quantum leaf-powered devices, those are probably further out. Maybe a few decades away. But the important thing is that the journey has begun.
Right.
Every step we take brings us closer to realizing the potential of this incredible discovery.
So we're in the early stages of a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And like any marathon, there will be challenges and setbacks along the way. But the potential payoff is so significant that the journey is worth the effort.
This whole discussion has highlighted the power of interdisciplinary research. It's fascinating to see how physicists, chemists, biologists, and engineers are all coming together to tackle this challenge.
Absolutely. It's proof that the biggest breakthroughs often happen at the intersections of different fields. It
Okay.
takes a diverse set of perspectives and expertise to unlock these secrets of nature and then translate them into real-world applications.
This makes me wonder, are there other areas where this kind of interdisciplinary approach could lead to similar breakthroughs? Like, are there other quantum leaves out there waiting to be discovered?
I have no doubt about it. Nature is full of surprises. And we've barely scratched the surface when it comes to understanding the role of quantum mechanics in biological systems. There's a whole universe of possibilities out there.
Wow.
And the more we can blur those lines between traditional scientific disciplines,
Right.
the more likely we are to uncover those hidden wonders.
It's like we're exploring this vast, uncharted territory, and every expedition brings back treasures that could revolutionize our understanding of the world
Mm-hmm.
and our place in it. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to the quantum leap for a second.
Okay.
We've talked about the challenges and the potential timelines, but I'm curious about the impact of these advancements on a global scale.
Yeah.
If we can harness the quantum leap for energy, how might it reshape our world?
That's a great question. And it requires us to think beyond just the technological advancements. We need to consider the social, the economic, and the environmental implications of these breakthroughs.
Right. Okay, so let's dive into that. What kind of shifts might we see in the global energy landscape
Yeah.
if we could unlock the quantum leap?
Well, for starters, we could see a huge shift away from fossil fuels
Yeah.
and towards clean, renewable energy sources.
Okay.
Imagine a world where solar energy is so efficient and affordable that it becomes the primary source of power for everything.
Wow.
For homes, for businesses, for entire cities.
Right.
This could have a huge impact on climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, helping to mitigate the effects of global warming.
It's almost like we're talking about a paradigm shift in the way we think about and produce energy.
Exactly. We're talking about moving from a system based on scarcity
Right.
and competition for limited resources
Yeah.
to a system based on abundance and sustainability,
Okay.
where clean energy is available to everyone.
That sounds amazing, like a utopian vision.
Yeah,
But it also raises questions about access and equity.
right.
If we develop these technologies, how do we make sure they benefit everyone, not just the wealthy few?
That's a crucial point. And it's one that needs to be addressed from the very beginning. We need to make sure that these advancements are developed and distributed fairly so that everyone benefits from a cleaner, more sustainable energy future.
So it's not just about the science, it's about the ethics and the social impact of these discoveries.
Yeah.
It's about making sure we use this knowledge responsibly and for the benefit of all humankind.
Absolutely. The quantum leap has the potential to be a powerful force for good, but only if we approach it with responsibility and a commitment to equity and sustainability.
Yeah, it's a reminder that these scientific advancements aren't just about the facts and figures. They're about how we use those discoveries to shape a better future.
Yeah.
And the quantum leap gives us an incredible opportunity to do just that.
It's a chance to reimagine our relationship with energy, with nature, and with each other.
Yeah.
And it all starts with understanding the secrets of a simple leaf. But let's take a short break here before we dive into those societal and economic implications. When we return, we'll wrap up this deep dive with a final look at the big picture and what the future might hold for the quantum leap and beyond.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the quantum leap. It's been quite a journey exploring this intersection of quantum mechanics and biology.
Yeah.
From those islands of condensate-like behavior to the potential for revolutionizing energy and technology.
It really does highlight the fact that even in the most familiar things, like a simple leaf, there are these profound mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. And those discoveries could reshape our world in ways we can barely even imagine.
Yeah, and we've talked about the potential for quantum leaf-inspired technologies to reshape everything from our gadgets to the power grid. But I'm also struck by the philosophical implications of all of this. It feels like we're redefining our relationship with nature.
Yeah, I think you've hit on a crucial point. For centuries, we've approached science and technology with the sense of mastery over nature. But this discovery and others like it, they're challenging that whole paradigm. It's more like nature is holding up a mirror, showing us that we still have so much to learn from its elegant solutions.
Yeah, it's a humbling realization, right? We tend to think of ourselves as at the pinnacle of technological advancement, but here we are discovering that plants have been using quantum mechanics to optimize energy transfer for, millennia. It makes you wonder what other secrets nature is holding close.
It's a good reminder that we're not the only innovators on this planet, right? Nature has been running its own research and development lab for billions of years. It's fine-tuning its designs through trial and error, through evolution and adaptation. And by tapping into that vast repository of knowledge, we can unlock a whole new level of innovation and sustainability.
So it's not just about mimicking nature's forms, but understanding its underlying principles, like its strategies for solving these complex problems. It's about embracing biomimicry, but on a much deeper level.
Exactly. And that's where the quantum leap becomes so inspiring. It's a blueprint for a different kind of technology, one that's not based on brute force or excessive consumption, but on elegance, efficiency, and harmony with the natural world.
It's about working with nature, not against it. But let's be realistic, even with the most noble intentions, technological advancement can come with risks and ethical challenges. So how do we navigate those complexities as we explore the possibilities of this quantum leap?
That's where the conversation needs to go beyond just the scientific community. We need a dialogue that involves ethicists, policymakers, economists, and the public. We need to ask those tough questions about access and equity and sustainability. How do we make sure these technologies benefit everyone, not just a select few? How do we mitigate potential impacts on the environment and those unintended consequences? How do we develop these advancements ethically and responsibly?
It's about ensuring that we're not just creating these new technologies, but that we're creating a better world along with them.
Absolutely. It's about using these discoveries as a catalyst for change, not just for technological advancement, but for social progress and a more sustainable future for all.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what is the one key message you hope our listeners take away?
I think the most important takeaway is this. Even in the most familiar and seemingly simple things like a leaf, there are these profound mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. And those discoveries have the potential to reshape our world in ways we can barely imagine. But it's up to all of us to make sure that we use this knowledge wisely, responsibly, and for the benefit of all humankind.
Yeah, it's a call to action to approach science with curiosity and humility, to learn from nature's wisdom, and to use our knowledge to create a more sustainable and equitable future for everyone. So the next time you see a leaf, remember that it's not just a passive part of nature. It's this dynamic, quantum-powered engine of life holding secrets that could change the world as we know it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked your curiosity and inspired you to keep exploring the wonders of the quantum leaf and beyond.